Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel and another episode of my weekly watches from the collection. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there watching this. Hope you all have a brilliant day, whatever you end up doing. I'm having a chilled one myself. Everyone's gone out to eat and I decided to stay in and cook something for myself. But yeah, I thought whilst it's cooking, I shall get on and record this to go up for you this afternoon. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to talk about this week. So we'll get started. And the first one is DVD that's decased, so I had to write a note to remember to talk about it. And it is Sam Peckinpah's Straw Dogs, starring Dustin Hoffman and Susan George. So I personally really thought it was a good film. It's a tough watch, not for everyone, a bit uncomfortable. It's about a couple, an American man who's just moved to a small village on a farm in Cornwall, and he's basically married to a girl that's a local. A lot of the men have been with her at some point in their earlier lives, so they're all a bit jealous of him. And it starts off as, I would just say, normal casual thriller. Stuff starts happening that is quite hard to watch. There's a specific scene in the middle that's quite hard, and it was the reason why it had a lot of problems over here for many years, and because of that one specific scene, which I won't mention. And then it kind of turns into a home invasion further at the end, which I really enjoyed. I thought Dustin Hoffman gave a brilliant performance. David Warner, who's actually uncredited in the film, which is a shame, thought he was really good in the film. And overall, is it my favourite Dustin Hoffman film? No. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Would I watch it again? Yes, but it's not one that I would go back to all that much out of his filmography. More because it's quite a hard watch because of the subject matter and what goes on. It does play on your mind a bit, but it's still a brilliant film. And yeah, that's another Sam Peckinpah film that I enjoyed after The Getaway. Wasn't a fan of The Wild Bunch, but there's a lot of his other films that I'm interested in checking out as well. So yeah, that was my first watch of the week. Then one of Roy's recommendations, he watched The Interpreter, so I decided to give The Interpreter a watch. Nicole Kidman, Sean Penn. This was Sydney Pollack's last film. 2005 this one came out. Set in the UN building in New York, I think it was. And one of the translators, played by Nicole Kidman, overhears this conversation that could about this planned assassination attempt that could be catastrophic. So she basically, I suppose, gets the help of Sean Penn's character, who is a Secret Service agent who's investigating this, trying to help her as well, find out what really is going on. Has she got some secrets she's hiding as well? You type of conspiracy thriller you can kind of imagine. And I said on the stream, as far as Sydney Pollack films go, this isn't at the top for me. He was a supreme director for me. He could have gone out with a bang. He did end up with this, which is still a very solid film. Still recommend anyone to check it out if you like your conspiracy thrillers, because it's still a solid watch. It's just not as good as I'd hoped it could have been. The story, yeah, it was a decent watch though. I would definitely watch it again. So yeah, that is The Interpreter. Next up, one of Sam's recommendations. I believe he picked this up when we went to Birmingham, and then he watched it last month and said it was pretty good. I'm getting more and more into this actor. I watched a film of his last week, like I said, last week's weekly watches. I've seen 2 this week, and both of them I really enjoyed, so who knows, I could be turning a corner. But it's Jim Carrey and Me, Myself and Irene, which is a Farrelly Brothers film. Really enjoyed this one. In this, Jim Carrey plays Charlie, who is a veteran of the Rhode Island State Troopers, I think they are. He's very mild-mannered. He's got lots of shits happened to him. His wife left him, but she also gave birth to 3, I suppose, triplets. And he wasn't the father, but he's left to raise them. everybody's just horrible to him, and then one day something snaps in him, and Hank comes out, his alter ego, split personality disorder, and Hank is the complete opposite to him. No nonsense, says it as it is, quite filthy mouth, just loves getting into fights, that sort of thing. So now he's got him to deal with as well. So it's about them going on a road trip with Irene, played by Renee Zellweger, who he's got to take to a police station, from their police station, for some sort of bail reasons. I'm not entirely sure. Something to do with the car, something like that. But then they have to go on the run together when the shady, corrupt agents trying to kill both of them. And it's about these two warring with each other to fight for her affections, and it's exactly what you expect from it. You've got a character called Whitey in this. He's hilarious. His backstory's just, it did make me chuckle. You've got Chris Cooper in this. You've got Robert Forster, Richard Jenkins. Really good supporting cast. And yeah, really funny film. Not my favourite Farrelly Brothers film, but I think Jim Carrey was really good in it, as was Renee Zellweger, and I definitely would give this one a watch again as well at some point. Next up, we have the Watch Pile pick of the week, so I'm not going to go into this one too much. If you want to know my full thoughts, as I always say, go back to the episode and I'll talk about it in a little more detail. But it's Rambo 3, the last Rambo film I had to watch, and unfortunately for me, the weakest of all of them. I didn't really get on with this too much. I'm of the opinion that First Blood should have been a one and done. That was an excellent action film. None of the sequels live up to that, in my opinion. The second one's probably, the second and the third are the bottom ones for me. I quite like the fourth one. Thought that was quite good. And I didn't mind Last Blood either. But this one, just, I don't know, the story didn't work for me. I was just not interested, really. I'm not a massive, I will put it out there, I'm not a massive Sylvester Stallone fan. I'm much more of an Arnie person. I just find a lot of Sylvester Stallone's films quite boring. There are obviously some exceptions. First Blood, the Rocky films. I do quite like Daylight as well. And there was that Detox, which also has another title. That was a good thriller, I thought. But overall, he don't do much for me. He's not great. He don't choose the best films, I don't think. And this was definitely not one of them. Yeah, not much more to say about that. Rambo 3. Next up was one of Roy's recommendations. I believe he watched this last week and said that I would probably quite enjoy it. It's a film called On the Road. You've got Garrett Hedlund, Sam Riley, Kristen Stewart, Amy Adams, Tom Sturridge, Danny Morgan, Alicia Braga, Elizabeth Moss, Kirsten Dunst, and Viggo Mortensen. Based on a novel set in the late 40s, early 50s. It's sort of a part of a road film, coming of age, sort of dark drama. Basically, it follows this character played by Sam Riley, whose father's just passed away, and he meets a aspiring writer called Dean, played by Garrett Hedlund's character. He's living life on the edge. He's married to this young girl played by Kristen Stewart. But he's a bit of an ex-con, but they get on, Sam Riley and Garrett Hedlund's characters get on straight away. And they don't want to, live like a normal, common, denominator life that everyone else they see around them is. So they decide to just hit the road and do things that no one else is doing, be free, meet people that are interesting. And that is basically it. It's definitely a coming-of-age film. It's quite hard. There's a lot of sex in it. Lots of drug use in it. There's some scenes in this sexually that are quite hard to watch, just because of the nature of them. But as far as road films go, really good. A really good cast. Really like Sam Riley. I'm actually going to be watching another film with him in tonight. Sam will know what film that is. Yeah, I enjoyed it overall. Is it one that I'm going to put on very often? No, but I could see myself going back to this in 5 years maybe, giving it another watch, because it was a decent film. I do like a good road film and a coming of age film, and it's definitely a good example of both of those genres. So yeah, that is on the Road. Next up, another Jim Carrey film, and you wouldn't have seen this one yet. Might show this in, like I said in my last deliveries video, if I show anything that I haven't shown in a video, like a deliveries video or pickups video before, in these videos, I probably won't bother showing them again because you'll see it the next day anyway. But I watched the first Ace Ventura: Pet Detective with Jim Carrey. This was the first film of 3 this year, set in 1994, that he did, which kind of were his breakout roles, I suppose. And I loved this film. It's so funny. The character of Ace is just, he's a bit of a knob, but you kind of still are on his side. And in the first film, he's basically called upon to kind of find this local football team's mascot, which is a dolphin that's been kidnapped. Along the way, one of the board members of that team kind of helps him. She's played by Courtney Cox in, I think it's a pre-Friends role actually, because I think didn't Friends start in like 95, or I could be wrong because I'm not a Friends fan. But yeah, Jim Carrey, off the walls, wacky, exactly what you expect from him. He just delivers on all cylinders in this. Very funny, lots of great lines, and yeah, really, it might be my favourite Jim Carrey comedy so far. I've heard When Nature Calls isn't as good, but I'm still going to give it a watch at some point. But yeah, that is Ace Ventura. Right, I've got 3 left. All 3 I watched yesterday. I'm just going to take a quick break and I will be back in a second. Right, I'm back. Yeah, 3 left to go through. All 3, as I say, I watched yesterday. First one was Stuart's recommendation. He recommended me to watch this yesterday morning, and I didn't have anything on, so I stuck it on. And it is Joe versus the Volcano with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Yeah, I know this is like Stuart's favourite Tom Hanks film. Fair enough, we've all got our favourites. But it just didn't do much for me, unfortunately. Literally, the island and the volcanoes, the last sort of 15-20 minutes, so it's all building up to that. Until that point, there's not really a lot going on. There's parts that are funny. It's always great to see Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan together, but it's definitely by far my least favourite of their collaborations together out of the 3 they did. I didn't dislike it, definitely didn't dislike it. As I said, there were some funny parts in there. It's just a shame that it was building up to something that only happened in the last sort of 15-20 minutes, like I say. But if Stuart loves this, fair enough. It's not one that I'll get rid of at all. I'm willing to definitely give it a go again in the future. It's just, don't know, it didn't quite work for me, I'm going to say. Just didn't quite work for me. But yeah, that is Joe versus the Volcano. Then one of Roy's recommendations, I believe he watched this last week, and another Sidney Pollack film, and it is The Yakuza, starring the brilliant Robert Mitchum, written by both Paul Schrader and Robert Towne, so 2 terrific writers there. And yeah, this was a brilliant film. I won't give too much away, but it kind of follows this former private eye, played by Robert Mitchum, who used to live in Japan, so he knows the ways of like the Yakuza and the gangsters and all that stuff. So he knows how to deal with it as well because of that. And one day he gets a call from a friend whose daughter has been kidnapped by the Yakuza. So he takes it upon himself to go over to Japan and try and get this girl back. He enlists the help of his old buddy from back when they were in the war, just after the war, played by, is it Takakura Ken? Hopefully I said that right. Who in this plays a character called, I think it's Ken, isn't it? And yeah, basically they go to get this girl, and the shit hits the fan. That's all I'll say. Very well done film. If you like Yakuza sort of films, Japanese, gangster, that sort of films, this ticks all the boxes. Really well done. I was hooked all the way through. So this is a thumbs up Roy recommendation. Really enjoyed this. And I definitely recommend this. Like I said, if you like your Yakuza, Japanese, samurai kind of films, because this definitely hit the spot for me. So yeah, that is the Yakuza. And then finally, I've only just finished watching this morning, but I had to include it in this video because Sam's dying to hear my thoughts on it, and I'm sure everyone else would be. It's the, I'm going to say, brilliant masterpiece, Lost in Translation. Bill Murray, Scarlett Johansson, the best film I've seen this week for sure. I'll give you a little bit of a synopsis of what it's about. So it follows Bill Murray's character Bob, who has gone over to, I think it's Tokyo, isn't it? He's an actor, a bit of a has-been actor, to be fair, and he's out there filming an advert for whiskey, like Japanese whiskey. So they've put him up in this hotel, and he's just there to kind of do what they need him to do, and then he's going to go home. He's kind of a bit bored. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He is a bit sick of his life, you know. And then he meets Scarlett Johansson's character Charlotte, who is fairly young. I think when she did this, she was probably only just 18, because this was, what, 2003, so she was about 18 in this. And she's married in this to Giovanni Ribisi's character, who is a photographer who basically neglects her. He's a workaholic, doesn't have any time for her really, so she's kind of left to amuse herself whilst he's off working. They both cross paths one day and instantly hit it off, become really good friends over the course of this week, and they go off and live life together. It's just beautiful. The script's beautiful, the characters are beautiful, the just everything about this film is beautiful. Really love this film. Yes, Sam, it is a 10 out of 10 for me. I will be watching this again. Might even watch this again at some point before the end of the year. I loved it that much. Just got that feeling to it. Just such a great film. Yeah, if you've not seen Lost in Translation, highly recommend it. I know Stuart's not a fan. He calls it pompous drivel, but it isn't. It is not pompous drivel at all. It's just such a well-made film. There's nothing to not like about this, in my opinion. It's just a lovely story. If Roy likes it, and Roy can be hit or miss on these types of films, then yeah, what can you can't really argue with that. It's just a great film, and my pick of the week, Lost in Translation. So that is everything that I've watched in the last week. If you've seen any of those ones that I've watched this week, let me know down in the comments section your thoughts on them. Please join us on the live stream tomorrow night at 7:30. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We have myself, Sam, possibly Roy, possibly Tim, and Pete, possibly an extra guest who is confirming tomorrow as well. So yeah, it should be a fun night tomorrow, and we've got a new year to talk about. Sam did pick another year, but because we've already done that decade recently, we're going to skip into Pete's choice of decade, which is an incredible year for film, but we'll get into that at the live stream tomorrow. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.